Assalamu alaikum listeners. Welcome back to all of you. Today we are here to discuss a new topic in accounting information system, that is organizing and manipulating the data in the databases. So I will be taking the help of Microsoft Access to introduce this topic with you. There will be another recording to discuss the theoretical aspect of this chapter, but it's better that if we start with the practical side, so that when I'm explaining your theoretical perspective from the slides, it will be easy for you to understand because the reference will be already there in another recording. So without any delay, let's search for Access in our system. So I just wrote Access, and this is Access 2016. This is one of the product of Office. Some people they install it when they are installing all the Office applications in their system, but if you don't have it, please install it, because without this you cannot develop a database. So I'm going to take blank desktop database. When I click on it, it asks me where you want to save it. So I'm going to select a location where all are going to take it on the desktop. Let's take this database, give this database a name, any name you want. So I'm just writing here it's employee database, or you can say let's give it a name of an organization, ABC organization, and then save it. After this, click on create so that the database is created for you. So if you see this ABC database is created, it shows my location when I saved it, and by default it will take you towards this table view. So what are the steps? Firstly, let's close all the unnecessary things. Fine. Now I'm going to create two data tables for me, or you can say two different files. First file which I'm going to create, or first table which I'm going to create, that is about the employees, and the second table which I will create, that will be about the department's details. So how we are going to create it, we will go to the view. If you see on under the file menu, here this is view, and going to, right now we are on data sheet. If you see, this is a sheet, right, like Excel, so it's a data sheet. I need to design it, so I'll be going to design view. When you go to design view, it asks you what do you want to give the name to this table. So I want to give this table a name of employee record, and then save it. Okay, now when you do it, it takes you to design view, and if you see the first field over here, that is the field name, then the second column name is data type, and then the description is optional. And then if you see the second part down the line, that is the properties of the field. It tells us what is the field size, then the new value you want to give, format, caption, index, and alignment, which alignment you want to keep for the text. By default, it is showing you a key symbol over here, so it says that the first field is primary key, but of course in all the files it's not going to be the primary key, so you can change it if you want, but right now I'm going to keep it like this. Later on I'll tell you how to change it. So let's start building our database. So I'll be defining my first field name, that is social security number. I'm going to give it a name of SSN. And social security number, for this example, it has some hyphens in it, so I'm going to say it's a short text, and here I'll write detail that it is social security number. Okay, then the second field which I want to enter, that will be the last name of employees, and of course it's again the short text, and this is last name. Then I want to enter first name of employees. So this is also going to be the short text, and this is first name. You don't need to write the description for everything, but if something like I wrote SSN, so everybody doesn't know what is SSN. It's my abbreviation, so I wrote the description over here. Last name and first name, it's not needed if I write or not. If you can see, it's clearly written. It's optional. If you want to write something, you can. If you don't, it's clear, it's okay. Now let's write the department code. So for department code, I'm going to write DPT code, and I'm going to, it's code, so code will be again a short text, because I'm going to give them names like A, B, C, D, like these. So here I'll be writing clearly that department code. It's not DPT means department. After the department code, I want to write about the pay rates of employees. Pay rates are going to be in number form, so I'm going to change it into number. From the drop down you can choose, you can also write N, it will appear, and rate of the pay, so it's almost the same. I don't want to write the description for this. Then when we hire this employee, so date of hire, it's a date. So if you see here date of hire, just press tab, it will highlight it. I will just say D, so date of hire will appear. It's very obvious the date of hire. I don't want to write any description for this, but if you want, you can. Then overtime, I want to give option that it's yes or no. If this employee is eligible for overtime, we want to write yes, otherwise no. So there is a short key for that. There is a data type for that, yes/no. It will give us boxes to check. So I'm just choosing yes, no. Then finally remarks, if I have, for means about the performance or about anything, we can write those remarks. Again, it's going to be the it could be a memo, it could be short text, it could be long text. It's up to you what you want to write. Right now I'm going to say it's memo. Let's see, is it available? No, it's not, so I'm going to say it's short text. Okay, now I have created all the fields which were required for this data file, or in simple language you can say for this data table. If you see, whenever I go to any of these field names, below these field names there is field properties appearing. Microsoft Access by default give the field size of 255, but you know that we never write that much detail, and I said it's social security number, and social security number has some limited numbers. So for example, if I want to limit this field to 9 digits or 10 digits like that, so in this example let's on the safe side for 15, but we should not be on the safe side. We should exactly know, like if you are using your national IDs, you should know how many numbers are there in your national IDs and how many digits separate those numbers. So exactly count how much field size you want. Then if you want to give any details that how the input should appear, like it should be with hyphens or what, so you can give that. So for me, I want to give a specific order for these inputs, so I'm just putting 3 numbers, then slash, then it's going to be separated with a hyphen, then again two zeros, then I want to separate it again with a hyphen, and then the last I will be having 4 zeros. So zeros represents the numbers, and slashes are just to separate those numbers, and the hyphens will be there inside the text itself. Then if you want to write any caption, means any further details, validation rules that the number should be between 0 to 1, you can add those details. Is it required field? If you feel that it is mandatory, you keep it yes, because if you don't fill this number and it's required, then database will not save your record, so you have to add this. I want to keep it yes. It's up to you, whatever you are creating, accordingly you're going to change the things, and the rest things you can change if you want. But the basics are field size, and then input mask, and then if there is some validation rule you want to apply, you can apply that. Is it required field, yes or no, that you can do. So from my side, I have created all the requirements or required data for this data table, which is employee record. I'm going to save it, because without saving I cannot enter the data into it. After doing it, the next step is to create another. So right now let me just show you how its table view looks like, where I need to enter the data. So this is the table view. How I did that: from the view you can go to design view, or you can go to the data sheet view, where you need to enter the data. Right now I'm in data sheet view and I did not enter any data yet because I want to create another table first. Again, go to design view, and this is the design view which we have created. Let's create another table. So I'm going to do that from create, and I want to create another table. So this is table which is blank. Just click on this table, go to its design view. System will ask you what name you want to give to this table. It is suggested, it is recommended that whenever you are creating the tables, it's better to write TBL as a key, or as an indication for you that it's not a query, it's not some other thing, it is a table in your database. For the previous table which I created, employee record, I haven't added TBL, but just to show you that it is good if you add such things. So I just wrote here departments. This is the table which is going to have the details of departments. So I'm again on this its design view of this table. So now let's write all the details here. I'm going to write department code. Again, it's a short text for me. Then it's department code, it's going to be a letter. So I'm going to write here a letter for the description sake. Then I will be having the name of manager. It's again a short text, and it's you can write full name, you can write last name. I'll be writing the last name of the manager. And then moving on towards number of employees this department have. So I'm going to write number of employees, and it's a number, so I don't want short text. So just with the tab, go to the next cell, it will be highlighted. Just press N, it will show you the number. Press tab, go to the description, just write number of employees, that how many employees works in this department. Moving on towards location, so I'm going to add location. Again, it's going to be a short text, and here we'll be writing building number. Now sometimes we have building 331, then hall 451, like that indication. So it's a mixture which I'm going to write. So that's why I gave it a name of text. I did not say number, because if I say number, I will not be allowed to write any text into this. So here I'm going to write building number. Now again, if you can see, we have if you see 255 by default, the field size, it's too big. Let's short it for all of our field names. I don't want 255. I'm just going to write a letter, so one is more than enough, so let's write 2. Then manager name, last name, it's not going to be that big, so let's how many letters a last name could have? Let's write 15. Then the number of employees, it could be in hundreds, so it's a number, so let's write it like this. Moving on towards location, so location, again you can limit it, so let's limit it to 20, not more than that. Okay, done. After this, everything is done. Location, manager, and department code. Don't forget to save it. When you save it, go to the data sheet, and you can see now it is being created. All the required things which we want. I just want to add few more details to this table. I want to add the secretary phone number here. So let's add here secretary number. So, or you can say phone. So it's going to be number, or as you like. So I'll be keeping it to number, and it's phone number, or you can say extension. We can write 4 digits. Make it to save. It's done. Okay, so this was the first step. Before entering the data into these data tables, let's create the relations. I explained this in my previous recording when we were discussing about data modeling, and I told you that how can we create the relation between the tables with the help of primary and the foreign key. So let's make sure that our primary key in both tables is assigned to a unique number. So starting with employee record, if you come here, can you see the primary key is assigned to social security number? So it's correct, because social security number is going to be unique in employee record table. One employee record will be entered only once in this table. Moving on towards the table department, if you go back to its design view, here I have department code, because this table is about departments. So each department will be mentioned only once, right? So number of employees, location, secretary phone. So we have system has by default assigned the primary key to the first. But if you don't like it, let's suppose if you want to assign the primary key to manager, you can highlight it and you can press the primary key, so it will be moved from department code to manager. But I want to keep it to department code, so I'm keeping it over here. Save your work. I'm going to create the relations between different tables. So before creating the relations to different tables, make sure that your table's full fields are ready. So firstly, we are going to select the table. So these are the two tables in which I want to create the relationship. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go click on database tools. After clicking on database tools, you can see here the relationships are. Click on it. It is asking you which tables. Now in your original database you might have many tables, but I have created only two, so of course I need to add all of them. So I'm adding both the tables, employee record and the table department, and I'm going to close this wizard now. Now let's keep a little space between both of them. Now I want to connect the department code primary key with the foreign key in the other table. We all know what is foreign key. Foreign key is a reference key in a table which helps us in connecting the table or connecting the data presented in the table with the other table. SSN I cannot consider in this case, because the department table does not have social security number. It is only in the employee record. But department table has department code. Also the employee table have department code. So I'm going to, this is my primary key, department code. I'm going to link it from the parent table to the department code in the secondary table, or you can say in the child table. So it is asking me, do you really want to connect these two fields? Yes, I want. Another important thing when you are creating the relationship, don't forget to enforce the referential integrity. Now what does this means? It means that make yourself very clear that the table department is the parent table in this relationship, because primary key is in the department table and the child table is employee record. Now what is the purpose of enforce reference integrity? It means that if somebody wants to create an employee record in employee table and he's going to assign a department code which does not exist in the parent table, system will not allow him to create such record. It will create an error, and we want that. We want employees only to be allocated to those departments which are available in the department table, right? So don't forget to click on enforce referential integrity and then create. So they say database engine could not lock the table employee record because it is already in use by another person or process. Yes, it is used by me. Can you see? Both tables are open, so we have to close them first. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and then let's close this. Save first on it so that you don't miss anything, and then right click and close. Also the table department, save first, then right click and close. Now let's create again. I'm gonna drag this one to the department code. They're asking me, are you sure you want to create relation between these two? Yes, I want. And then enforce referential integrity and then create. So this 1 to many, this infinity means many, relationship is created. Okay, now after creating this, let's enter the data into our tables. Don't forget to save this relationship. When you save it, now open your employee record table and enter your data into this. So I'm going to show you one, and then I'll just move on towards all the data which I have created. So starting with my first record, I have social security number 575 hyphen. Can you see how it's giving me the format by itself, because this format I have created in the design view. So enter any number, let's suppose 64, and then enter any 4 digits number, then write the last name of the employee like I am Smith, then enter the first name, that's Dan, then his pay rate, let's suppose he's charging $25 per hour. Moving on, sorry, this is not pay rate, this is department code. I'm just entering the data into employee record first so that I can show you the error which will appear. Okay, pay rate, let's suppose he charged $25 per hour. Then when does we hire him? So this is because I gave it a feature of date and time, so you can see it is giving me a calendar by default here. So let's take June, and I'm changing the year. He was hired on 2020 and he's eligible for overtime. Remarks is senior employee. Okay, now when I click on save, it gives me an error. You cannot add or change a record because a related record is required in table department. This is what enforce integrity do. What I told you, it will not let you create any department which does not exist in that table, and I have not added any department yet in this table. Let me take you over there. See, nothing is there. This is parent table, so I have to create the record here first, then I can go to the child table and I will create the records over there. So let's create the records over here. My first department is going to be department A, so let me create this quickly. Okay, department A, his manager name is, let's suppose I give him a name of Smith. Then this department has, let's suppose, 53 employees. Its location is building 30, let's suppose. Secretary extension is 34956, sorry. Then department B, its manager is Rose, and then let's suppose number of employees are 45. Its building is 45, let's suppose, and then secretary phone number is 32345. And then I have a department C. Its manager name is, let's suppose, Simon, and it has 25 employees, and this is not a building, it's actually store, warehouse, let's suppose. The extension for the secretary is 9221. Then I have department D. Its manager is Mark, let's suppose, and then its employees are 15, and this is, let's suppose, IT main building, and then extension going to be 4532. I think 4 departments are more than enough. Let's save our data. Now I can create the record and it will allow me to save because there is a department A. So see, it is saved now. I'm going to create another department employee here. So let's write his ID so that it's it appears by itself. How many digits? His surname is, let's suppose, Mark, and he is she, Department is again A. He also works for Department A. His pay rate is 22 and he was hired on, let's take a random date. Current date maybe 6 because he is new. He is not eligible for overtime. New employee. Any information you want to create, you can. So let's do another one. 3460. Then another employees gold, and then Angel. Department. Okay, I have created department A, B, C and D. Let's assign him department D just to check his pay rate because he's new, so we are giving him 15 each hour. And he's also new, as I said, and he's a junior person, so let's hire him on January. He's not eligible for overtime. New junior. Let's try to save it. Error. Why? Because there is no department E, so I'm going to assign as department B. Now it will save. Okay, let's add 2-3 more employees so that we can run our tests. So is one digit is missing, and what should I name him? Simcan and Red. His department is C. His rate is, let's suppose, 22 again, and he was hired on today's date, but last year, make it 22. Yes, he is eligible for overtime. He is junior. One more, last. So, sorry. And this is department D. His pay rate is 46 and he was hired on, let's change the month as well. It's not September, it's May, and it's 2021. Okay, he's also eligible and he's also senior. Fine, save it. Done with saving. Both tables are saved. Now we have created the relationships, we have created the tables, we have also created the records into them, and this is it about creating the different tables in Access, assigning them different relations, assigning between the tables, and also assigning the primary key. Till here was the introduction about Microsoft Access table uses, but we have to create different queries and we have to create some other information as well. So for this sake, please watch the next video, which is the part 2 of creating the queries. I'll be using the same tables for creating the queries. What are queries? I'll be introducing them as well. This is it for the coverage in this recording. Take care everyone. See you with the next recording soon.